Hello. Thanks for tuning in to another. My name is Miss Battle. We're in the book of Judges, chapter 6. I'm going to jump right in because we're now finna talk about Gideon. And I'm excited to explain Gideon because actually, over our Christmas holiday, we played the game. And our young offspring was like, who is Gideon? So this makes me excited to talk about Gideon. We are in the book of Judges. God chose judges to to deliver Israel. And so now I did 1 through 4 was a few judges, and we were talking about the ladies and they spot and how powerful they and their husbands must have been. But the thing is with Gideon, God wants you to know he used common, everyday, humble people. He do not need to use nobody that's so intelligent or wise or because then they got power, you know, people with power in power. He can't use y'all. He can't use those people because they'll get the glory. They'll think they did it on themselves because they were smart. So therefore, or powerful or rich. He can't use rich people because you'll say you did it on your own. Nebuchadnezzar is a testimony of that. And so anyway, Gideon was such a humble person, but don't take Miss Battle word. Let's get into the word. First, with prayer. Father God, I ask you to give us understanding of your word. In Jesus' name, I pray, amen. Okay. Chapter 6. I'm going to start at 11. Let me make sure I didn't have to recap something. Deborah, the song of Deborah praise. Deborah was the mother of Israel. I think I read it. I'm not quite sure. But they called her the mother of Israel because she judged fairly. Okay, so now let's get on to Gideon. Chapter 6. I'm going to start at 11. And then I'm going to start at 11. I got to say this because again, I'm just a human being, make mistakes. I don't have no degree in this area. So if I pronounce names wrong, so what? Get the point across is what I'm trying to do. So don't uh don't trip off me just calling and saying names or reading names. If I sometimes I get a little excited and I just, misspell or mispronounce. But it's all in the joy. Let God have the glory, and may he get all the glory. None of me, all of God. And let's read. Now the angel of the Lord came and sat under the tamarisk tree, which was in Oprah. And then I'm gonna jump down to 12. Well, I guess I'll read it all. Which belongs to Josiah, and Abizarite, and Azabizarite. I can't do that one. Wow, his son Gideon threshed wheat in the winepress in order to hide it from the Midianites. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, the Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor. And Gideon said to him, oh my Lord, if the Lord is with me, why then has all this happened to us? And where are all his miracles which our fathers told us about, saying, did not the Lord bring us up out of Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. Okay, so now I'm going to jump down to 19. So Gideon went in and prepared a young goat and unleavened bread from an ephah of flour. An ephah is a measure. The meat he put in a basket, and he put the broth in the pot. And he brought them out to him under the tamarisk tree. Angels has take human form. Angels are real people. We have to start moving in the spiritual realm. Know if know that we're not fighting against our brother man, our neighbor man. Know that it's a spirit. And until you start walking in the spirit, you're not aware of the unseen. Okay. Verse 12. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, the Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor. Okay, then I'm going to jump down to 24. So Gideon built an altar that there to the Lord and called it, the Lord is peace. To this day, it is still in Oprah of the Ezebizerites. Now it came to pass the same night that the Lord said to him, take your father's young bull, a second bull, is 7 years old, and tear down the altar of Baal that your father has, and cut down the wooden images that is beside it, and build an altar to the Lord God on top of this rock in the proper arrangement, and take the second bull and offer a bull sacrifice with the wood of the image which you shall cut down. And so Gideon took 10 men from among his servants and did as the Lord said to him. Gideon's finna go against his parents, because his parents worship Baal, and they actually made it, had a shrine with Baal. All they, a shrine is where they have all their gods, and they done built a house for their god Baal. So Gideon destroys the altar of Baal, and so I'm just gonna jump down to 36. And so Gideon said to God, if you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said, look, I shall put a fleece of wool on the threshing floor. And if there is dew on the fleece only, and it is dry on the ground, then I shall know that you will save Israel by my hand, as you have said. Okay, I'm trying not to read the whole story. It's for you to read yourself, but I want you to get this story, because now Gideon he got to make sure. See, we got to know without a shadow of a doubt that it is God talking to us. Concept, y'all. That's a concept of Gideon. And so what he said was, okay, Lord, just I'm gonna put this fleece of wool down and just let dew fall on the wool, nowhere around it. And that's what happened. And then he come back and say again, okay, I know you did that, Lord, but now let's do it the opposite way. Okay, let the dew miss it and go around. Okay. And God did just that. And so uh and then I'll just read it, 39. And then Gideon said to God, do not be angry with me, but let me speak just once more. Let me test, I pray, just once more with the fleece. Let it now be dry, only on the fleece, but on the ground let there be dew. And God did so that night, and was dry on the fleece only, but there was dew on all the ground. Miracles, man. He's still doing miracles. And so that is the reason why in this New Testament, he's saying, if you can't believe the Old Testament, you don't believe Moses, and you don't believe all these miracles, you won't believe me. You won't even believe Jesus when he tell you. You're just not going to believe truth. Chapter 7, Gideon. Then Jerubbaal, that is Gideon. Okay, because see, now that he's in the mini, they changed his name to Jerubbaal. So when we say Jerubbaal, we're talking about Gideon. And all the people who were, you notice God changed your names? Where am I at? Then Jerubbaal, because he tore down Baal's altar. And all the people who were with him rose early and encamped beside the well of Horeb. And so the camp of the Midianites was on the north side of them by the hill of Morah in the valley. And the Lord said to Gideon, the people who are with you are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel claim glory for itself against me, saying, my own hand has saved me. Now therefore proclaim in the hearing of the people, whoever is fearful and afraid, let him turn and depart at once from Mount Gilead. And 22,000 of the people returned, and 10,000 remained. Okay, God finna do this for Gideon. I'm gonna jump the story, because now he got 300 valid men. He done picked them out, hand picked. And so God is so good. He's saying, because he got to reduce this number, because I need y'all to know This is only God because I'm gonna reduce this number. And I'm talking about the Midianites got armies. Come on, y'all. It's a whole vast of army he finna fight. And so he asked the Lord with the fleece to, should he do it? And the Lord told him to do it, and he gonna be with him. And then he said, okay, if they scared or faint hearted, if they got a family, just had a family, whatever, let them stay home. Let's reduce this. And so he reduced it. But the Lord said to Gideon, the people are still too many. Bring them down to the water, and I will test them for you there. And then it will be that of whom I say to you, that one shall go with you, the same shall go with you, and of whomever I say to you, this one shall not go with you, that same one shall not go. So what he did is he told Gideon, he said, take them down to the water and trough. And so all the men, when they let them get some water, just watch them, just observe. And that's all you have to do is watch people. Have a discerning spirit. You got to have a discerning spirit to be in the body of Christ. That's just one of our attributes of being godly, of walking in the way, okay? Walking the right path. You walk on the right path, then God will lead, direct you, protect you, and do all that he say he will do to his people. We still have the same blessing. But anyway, so he said, watch them. And so they watch them how they drink water. So some of them went down and lapped like a dog, lap, 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 get their water. But some of them brought the water up to them. And so that's wisdom. When you bring the water up to you, you can see around. But if you down there lapping up water, you're not looking. I can't use you. So the Lord said, get rid of them. Now we left with 300 men. So I'm going to jump to 15. 7 and 15. And so it was when Gideon heard the dream. Okay, I got to go back. And the number of those who lapped, putting their hand to their mouth, was 300 men. But the rest of the people got down on their knees to drink water. And then the Lord said to Gideon, by the 300 men who lap, I will save you and deliver the Midianites into your hand. Let all the other people go, every man to his place. And so the people took provision and their trumpets in their hands, and he sent them away, all the rest of Israel, every man to his tent, and retained those 300 men. Now the camp of Midian was below in a valley. And it happened on the same night that the Lord said to him, arise, go down against the camp, for I have delivered it into your hand. But if you are afraid to go down to the camp with Purah, your servant, and you shall hear what they are saying, and afterwards your hand shall be strengthened. So this just in case you lose a little courage, Gideon, go down and listen. Just listen to what they're saying. Okay, so now I'm gonna jump down to 13. And when Gideon had come there was a man telling a dream to his companions. He said, I've had a dream. To my surprise, a loaf of barley bread tumbled into the camp of the Midianites, and it came to the tent and struck it, so that it fell and overturned, and the tent collapsed. And then his companion answered and said, this is nothing else but the sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, a man of Israel. Into his hand God has delivered the Midians and the whole camp. And so it was when Gideon heard the telling of the dream and the interpretation that he worshiped. He returned to the camp of Israel and said, arise, for the Lord has delivered the camp of the Midianites. He worshiped. When you hear the Lord talking to you, you better start worshiping God. It's all about worship. It ain't about, get this, it's God. He said, rocks will cry out. God wants us to worship him in spirit and in truth. Don't just worship because it's religion and what you're supposed to do. Thank you, Lord, and then forget about it, looking in the mirror like the Bible says. You look in the mirror, walk away and forget. Thank you, Lord, because you're used to it. Because you just got a habit of saying thank you, Lord, and not meaning it. It's when the heart means it. That's when the soul turns. Okay, now let's go to chapter 8. Now the men of Ephraim said to him, "Why have you done this to us by not calling us when you went to fight with the Midianites?" And they reprimanded him sharply. Oh, now see, they mad. Ephraim tribe. They mad because you didn't call our tribe. You know, they don't even know how God was using them. But they want to come to Gideon and say, "You ain't call us to fight." And we're mad about it. And so he said to them, "What have I done in comparison with you? Is it not gleaning of grapes of Ephraim better than the vintage of Abizar? God has delivered into your hands the prince of Midian, Oreb, Zeb. And what was I able to do in comparison with you?" And then the anger toward his, then their anger toward him subdued when he said that. Gideon being humble, y'all. He ain't even taking the credit. This is, oh, he is so humble. He's saying what he did was he done flipped the script on them. While they mad and angry, he telling them the positive what they did. He said, "Why you mad at me? Y'all done did more. Y'all pressing the grapes for the wine. Wine is so important in this ancient time. You know, Jesus changed water to wine. And wine is what people use to entertain their guests. The wine is for the wedding. Wine is to make us merry. So you got the best thing in your camp. You got the vineyards. And you done killed 3 kings." That's what he telling them. He said, "I ain't no, y'all better than me. Y'all got the vineyard and you done killed kings. So I adore you," is what he said. So he just humbly made them feel good. And they was like, "Oh, okay, he right. We did subdue kings." So watch. This is a concept. Watch how our attitude, and we don't even know what people are thinking or going through. Watch your attitude, get understanding before you just jump to conclusions. That's one of the things about being led by the Spirit. You actually, when you're being led by the Spirit, all you're doing actually, when you put that bottom line, is you not quick to answer. You think before you speak. That's being led by the Spirit. You have enough sense to hear the whole thing, analyze in your brain, and then speak. That will keep you from being angry, because anger comes out of just, you know, anger comes because you, just by whim, not thinking. That's where not thinking. So wisdom is think, make the right decision before you act. And when Gideon came to the Jordan, he and his 300 men who were with him crossed over, exalted, but still in pursuit. And then he said to the men of Succoth, "Please give us loaves of bread to the people who follow me, for they are exhausted. And I'm pursuing Zebah and Zelamah, the kings of Midian." The leaders of Succoth said, "Are the hands of Zebah and Ziblam and Zelumam now in your hand, that we should give bread to your army?" These 2 kings, the king Zebah and the king Zelaman. And so Gideon said, because he asked them, yeah, his men hungry. He going to he after these 2 kings. He going to conquer. And but they tired, and he just want to see who he seeing if they would help him along the way. They refused to help him. They saying, "We ain't finna give you no bread to beat these kings, because we believing in these kings." That's basically what they saying. So Gideon said, "For this cause, when the Lord delivers Zebah and Zelaman into my hand, then I will tear your flesh with the thorns of the wilderness and with briars." And then he went up from there to Penal and spoke to them in the same way. And the men of Penal answered him as the men of Succoth had answered. And so he also spoke to the men of Penal, saying, "When I come back in peace, I will tear down this tower." Then I'm going to jump down to 15. And then he came to the men of Succoth and said, "Here are Zebah and Zalaman, about whom you ridiculed me, saying, or the hands of Zebah and Zalman now in your hand? And then I'm going to jump down to 18. And he said to Zebah and Zalman, what kind of men were they, whom you killed at Tabor? And so they answered, as you are, so were they, each one resembling the son of a king. Okay. And then he said, they were my brothers, the sons of my mother. And as the Lord lived, if you had let them live, I would have let you live. And he said to Jephthah, his firstborn, rise, kill him. But the youth would not draw his sword, for he was afraid, because he was still a youth. And so Zebah and Zalman said, rise yourself and kill us, as a man is. So is his strength. So Gideon arose, killed Zebah and Zalman, and took their ornaments, their golds, and everything. Okay. So with I gotta say this because see, he had 70 sons, but he also had 70 brothers. Because see, these kings, they killed his 70 brothers. I didn't read the story for yourself, but it's very exciting. They cut off they thumbs, they big thumbs, and they big toe. Because you can't fight a war with thumbs, and you can't run, you can't walk in battle. That's the wisdom of it. That's the purpose of the thumbs and the toes. You done just killed their military service or military men. And that's what he did. He came back and he said, if y'all hadn't killed my brothers, I wouldn't have killed you. And he killed them. 70 brothers. Wow, that's a blessing. 70 sons. And if you read it from the beginning, he had 70 sons and 70 brothers. And then Gideon made it in 24. And then Gideon said to them, I would like to make a request of you, that each of you would give me an earring and his plunder. For they had golden earrings because they were Ishmaelites. And so they answered, we'll gladly give them. And they spread out their garments to each of them. Okay, so I'm going to jump because now they want Gideon to be their king. And so they asked Gideon to come and be our king. And Gideon said, I'm not finna come be y'all king. I'm in the Lord's army. And so then they asked Gideon's brother, Abimelech, come be our king. And so the Bible uses metaphor. It goes to the bramble bush and asks the bramble bush, come be our king. And the bramble bush says, why should I be your king when when I have shade, when all the shade, why should I be your king? And then he go back and he asks they go to a lesser brother, is what he's doing. And come be our king. And he say no. So the third king say, okay, if I'll be y'all king, they finally get somebody. Then Gideon made his ephod and set up the city of Oprah. And all of Israel played the harlot with it there. It became a snare to Gideon and to his household. Thus Midian was subdued before the children of Israel. And so they lifted up their voice no more. And the country was quiet for 40 years in the days of Gideon. So what a ruler, what a judge, and what a deliverer. And then Jerubbaal, Gideon, the son of Joash, went and dwelt in his own house. And Gideon had 70 sons who were his own offspring, for he had many wives. And his concubines who were in Shechem also bore him sons, whose name he called Josiah. Abimelech first. I'm sorry, Abimelech. Now Gideon, the son of Josiah, died at a good old age and was buried in the tomb of Josiah, his father, in an Oprah. And so it was, as soon as Gideon was dead, that the children of Israel played the harlot with Baal, and made Baal Burah their god. Okay, now here's the conspiracy, chapter 9. Then Abimelech, the son of Jerubbaal, went to Shechem to his mother's brother and spoke to them with all the family of the house of his mother's father, saying, please speak in the hearing of the men of Shechem, which is better for you, that all 70 of the sons of Jerubbaal reign over you, or just one? Okay, so now they looking for a king. I'm going to jump to, and so, I'm jump to 9 and 4. And so they gave him 70 shekels of silver from the temple of Baal Burah, which Abimelech hired worthless, reckless men. And they followed him. And then he went to his father's house at Oprah and killed his brothers, the 70 sons of Jerubbaal, with one stone. Okay, the parable of the tree. That's that parable I was telling you about. Listen to me, you men of Shechem, that God may listen to you. The trees once went forth to an anointed, to anoint a king over them. And they said to the olive tree, reign over us. But the olive tree said to them, should I cease giving oil with you, with which honor God and man, and go and sway over trees? And then the tree, he go ask the fig tree, and they all okay. Them are his brothers he's asking. That's a metaphor. Okay, 22. After Abimelech had reigned over Israel 3 years, God sent a spirit of ill will between Abimelech and the men of Shechem. And the men of Shechem dwelt treacherously with Abimelech, that the crime done to the 70 sons of Jerubbaal might be settled and their blood be laid on Abimelech. He will defend you. He will get justice. He's a just God. Okay, chapter 10. And after Abimelech in those days, to save Israel was Tola, and he judged Israel 23 years. And then Jair, after him arose Jair of Gilead, a Gileonite, and he judged Israel 22 years. Then Israel was oppressed again. This is 10 and 6. The children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord and served Baal and Asheroth, the gods of Syria, the gods of Sidonians, the gods of Moab, and the gods of the people of Ammon, and the gods of the Philistines. And they forsook the Lord and did not serve him. Jump down to 10. And the children of Israel cried out to the Lord, saying, we have sinned. We've sinned against you, because we have both forsaken our God and served Baal. Okay, and then we're going to jump to 13. Yet you have forsaken me and served other gods, and therefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry to the gods you have chosen. That's what he's going to tell us. You want the gods of this world. You want to run after money. You want to run after prestige. You want to run after power. You want to run after them are gods. That's all I'm telling you. Them are gods. Whether you want to believe it or not, it doesn't make it not so. The truth of the matter is you're running after gods. If you're running after your name, you want your name to be somebody. You're running after just pride. 15. And the children of Israel said to the Lord, we have sinned. Do to us whatever seems best with you. Only deliver us this day, we pray. And so they put away the foreign gods from among them, and they served the Lord. And his soul could no longer endure the misery of Israel. And then the people of Ammon gathered together and camped at Gilead. And the children of Israel assembled themselves and encamped at Mizpah. And the people and the leaders of Gilead said to one another, who is the man who will bring the fight against the people of Ammon? He shall be head over all the inhabitants of Gilead. Okay, chapter 11. Now, Jephthah, the Gileadite, was a mighty man of valor. He was the son of a harlot. Man, if you don't see all of this keep coming around and around, you better quit looking down on people. In God's eyes, the harlot is probably even better than the rich man. The humble man gonna always take precedent over the rich man, the proud man, the man that got everything. God, y'all better see God, because he don't change. Who is this man? And okay, Jephthah. You shall have no inheritance in your father's house, for you are the son of another woman. And then Jephthah fled from his brothers and dwelt in the land of Tob. And worthless men banded together with Jephthah and went out raiding with him. And it came to pass after the time the people of Ammon made war against Israel, and it was so. When the people of Ammon made war against Israel, that the elders of Gilead went to get Jephthah from the land of Tob. And then they said to Jephthah, come and be our commander, that we may fight against the people of Ammon. And so Jephthah said to the elders of the Gilead, did you not hate me and expelled me from my father's house? Why have you come to me now when you were in distress? Jump down to 13. And the king of the people of Ammon answered the messengers of Jephthah, because Israel took away my land when they came up from Egypt, from Arnon, as far as Jabbok, and to the Jordan. Now, therefore, restore those lands peaceably. And so Jephthah again sent message to the king and the people of Ammon and said to them, thus said Jephthah, king of Israel, did not take away the land of Moab, nor the land of people of Ammon. But when Israel came up from Egypt, they walked through the wilderness as far as the Red Sea and came to Kadesh. And then Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom, saying, please let me pass through your land. But the king of Edom would not heed. And in like manner, they sent to Moab. Okay, Jephthah took care of that. This is the thing throughout the generations, even though uh, uh, Gideon didn't, as they grow, Jephthah came back and said, remember that? So he had to wipe out the rest of the clan, okay? He got the rest of the territory. The territory that's to be conquered, it just didn't get conquered once they went into Canaan. It took them years to conquer this land, and they still conquering it at this point. So Jephthah vowed the victory. This is okay, check this one out. And then the spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, and he passed through Gilead and Manasseh, and passed through Mizpah and Gilead, and from Mizpah to Gilead, and then I'm gonna jump on down. When Jephthah came to the house at Mizpah, there was his daughter coming out to meet him with tamarines and dancing, and she was his only child. And I'm just gonna stop there because uh, he asked, okay, who's gonna lead the fight, and whoever lead the fight and conquer and win the battle, they can have my daughter as wife, and that's how they kept the tribes going through their generations. And no, he promised the Lord, I gotta find it. If the Lord, this is what it is. He promised the Lord. He said, Lord, if you give me victory, I'll give you the first thing that come out of my house. Man, woman, child, animal, whatever. And the first thing came out was his daughter. And he fulfilled it. And the daughter was, oh wow, the daughter said, don't take Miss Battle. Let's read it. Uh, his daughter came out with tamarines beside. He had neither son nor daughter. And it came to pass when he saw her that he tore his clothes and said, Alice, my daughter, you have brought me very low. You are among those who trouble me. For I have given my word to the Lord, and I cannot go back on it. And so she said, my father, if you have given your word to the Lord, do it according to what you say. According uh, what have gone out of your mouth, because the Lord has avenged you and your enemies, the people of Ammon. And then she said to her father, let this thing be done for me. Let me alone for 2 months, that I may go and wander on the mountains and bewail my virginity, my friends and I. So she took it in stride. She was a humble woman, had to have been a humble young lady to say, okay, Father, you promised the Lord, I'm the sacrifice. But before I sacrifice, can I just have a 2 months to be with my friends? I'm already a virgin. I never knew a man. I'm just a young girl. And he allowed that, and okay, it was fulfilled. I'll put it that way. The promise, he did fulfill. Jephthah fulfilled his promise with his daughter. And then the men of Ephraim gathered together across over toward. And why did you cross over to fight against the people of Ammon and did not call us to go with you? We will burn your house down on you with fire. And Jephthah said to them, my people and I were in a great struggle with the people of Ammon. And when I called you, you did not deliver me out of the hand. So when I saw that you would not deliver me, I took my life in my hands and crossed over against the people of Ammon, and the Lord delivered me into the hand. And why then have you come up to me this day to fight against me? Now Jephthah gathered together all the men of Gilead and fought against Ephraim. And the men of Gilead defeated Ephraim because they said, "You Gileadites are fugitives and of Ephraim among the Ephraimites and among the Manassites. These tribes, even though they're the part of the 12 tribes, but the Ephraimites thought they were better. They called the Gileadites, which the Gileadites are, we know they're not out of the 12 tribes, but we went through the past how Caleb got, how Joshua offsprings and Caleb offsprings, all of them were a part. They were into, they're not part of the tribe, but they're into the tribe. They are ministers, they're deliverers, they're people God picked out of the that's not in the tribe to follow him, because if the Jews didn't accept him, then I got to take the Gentiles and let the Jews see. And that's basically what he did. So that's what he's saying. They were in the Ephraimites and the Manassites, they were saying, "You Gileads are like fugitives. You're foreigners. You're not like us." And that's basically what they were saying. Quit judging yourself, okay? Comparing yourself to somebody like they fugitive, they foreigners, they white, they black, they all this nonsense. Okay. And so after then there we still talking about judges. Izan, Elon, and then Abdon. Chapter 13. Now let's go to Samson. Okay. Let's go to Samson. Again, the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord delivered them into the Philistines for 40 years. Now there was a certain man from Zorah, the family of the Danites, Dan, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren and had no children. And the angel of the Lord appeared to the woman and said to her, "Indeed, now you are barren and have no children, but you shall conceive and bear a son. Now, therefore, please be careful not to drink wine or similar drink, and do not eat anything unclean. For behold, you shall conceive and bear a son. No razor shall go up on his head, and the child shall be a Nazarite to God from the womb. And he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of the Philistines." Okay, a Nazarite. Let's get this Samson thing right, because see, Samson did everything, everything wrong, disobedient. Even though he was a Nazarite. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Even the mightiest man falls. So let's jump on to 8. Then Manoah prayed to the Lord and said, "Oh Lord, please let the man of God whom you sent come to us again and teach us what we should do for the child who will be born." Again, God sent an angel to talk to Manoah. Um, so And Manoah said, "Bring him back. And check this out, because Manoah's wife gonna say she got so much faith. She's got even more faith, because she gonna tell him. And the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, "Though you detain me, I will not eat your food," because Manoah wanted to stay, drink some wine. Let's just read it. So Manoah rose 11. So Manoah rose the following and followed his wife. And when he came to the man, he said to the man, "Are you man who spoke to this woman?" And he said, "I am." Manoah said, "Now let your words come to pass. What will be the rule of the life of his work?" And so the angel of the Lord said to Manoah, "All I said to the woman, let her be careful." I'm going to jump forward to 19. So Manoah took the young goat and grain offering, offered it upon a rock, offering worship, and he did the wondrous thing while Manoah and his wife looked on. It happened as the flame went upward toward heaven from the altar. The angel of the Lord ascended in the flame of the altar. And Manoah and his wife saw this. They fell on their face to the ground. And when the angel of the Lord appeared no more to Manoah and his wife, Manoah knew that he was an angel of the Lord. And Manoah said to his wife, We shall surely die because we have seen God. But his wife said to him, if the Lord had desired to kill us, he would have. He would not have accepted the burnt offering. 14. That's the wise thing. She already said, come on, Manoah, if the Lord would have killed us, he wouldn't have told us he was going to have a child.